My name is Gustavo, and in the following I will be presenting a PowerPoint video presentation on the novel The Day of the Triffids. The overview of the presentation will include the summary of the book, connections to issues or controversies, conclusion followed up by any questions. The Day of the Triffids was written by author John Wyndham, published in 1951. The setting of this novel is placed in London. Bill Mason, the protagonist, is in the hospital because he becomes temporarily blind after getting stung by a triffid, a poisonous plant. On the night that Bill is in the hospital, a meteor shower passes by. All who saw the meteor shower become blind the very next day. Once people who witness the meteor shower become blind, the triffids start to emerge and start to walk and kill people. Once Bill leaves the hospital, he sets out to find who else was affected until he finds and meets Josella, another person who is able to see as well. They set off to find a safe place from the triffids and encounter another group of people that have the same interests as them. On the day before Bill, Josella, and the group decide to set out, the group gets raided and they get separated. Bill goes on a journey to find Josella until he finally finds her, and they head off to the Isle of Wight. An issue presented in the novel is the aspect of being blinded by the meteor shower. I would like to connect this how modern-day people who are blind cope with their blindness. Blind people usually get around with the use of white canes, which are slightly longer than canes used for walking. Blind people rely heavily on sounds. Sounds is what informs blind people of incoming traffic and people. The use of experienced guide dogs are also reliable because dogs navigate blind people to their destination. In the novel, those that become blind heavily rely on other people to help them get around, as well as sounds in protecting themselves from the triffids, and helps them locate other people as well. Another topic presented in the novel are poisonous plants. These poisonous deadly plants called triffids are able to walk and shoot out a sting in which they can be deadly. To stop the triffid from being able to shoot out its sting, one must cut off the cup of the plant. Some poisonous plants that can become deadly are the Atropa belladonna and the castor bean plant. The Atropa belladonna, also called deadly nightshade, gets its nickname due to the fact that the berries are extremely toxic. The berries contain tropin alkaloids. The castor bean plant is another poisonous plant. The plant is not actually toxic, but if a bean from the plant is consumed, it can be fatal due to the properties of ricin that it contains. The plague is another issue presented throughout the novel. In the Day of the Triffids, those that become blind end up getting the plague that mysteriously appeared and killed off those that became blind. The plague is a bacterial infection that can be deadly. The plague can be transmitted to humans through fleas or through animals that have been infected. The plague are most common in poor sanitized areas, in overcrowded places, and areas that have a high rodent problem. An example of this is the Black Death, a plague that occurred in Europe in the Middle Ages and killed off a lot of people. One of the main aspects in the novel is a theory of survival of the fittest, a theory of Charles Darwin's. The theory of survival of the fittest is the ability to adapt and survive new changes. In the novel, people try to adapt to new changes occurring. The blind need to adapt and survive without having the ability to see. Those that are able to see need to adapt to the changes that they see, such as a triffid apocalypse, by finding a place for safety while being aware of any triffid wandering by. Some current-day examples include fighting for territories, such as wars being declared. Also, the ability to adapt to new technology is critical for success. Technology is evolving every day around us, and so must we if we want to succeed. Gender roles play a key role in the novel. Gender roles are associated as a social and behavioral norm that is generally considered appropriate for either a man or a woman in a social setting or interpersonal relationship. Men are usually considered to have strength, aggression, and dominance. In today's society, they are seen as the breadwinners. Women are seen as passive and nurturing. An example can be raising children. In the novel, men were supposed to work and set off on the road to gather supplies. Women needed to get married and give birth to children who will end up being able to see and help out in the community. To conclude, one must adapt to new changes presented to them in today's society. The ability to adapt to these changes is critical in order to survive and stay on top of things. The roles in today's society is seen as a commonplace that can be controversial. People see men as workers who are providers. Women are traditionally seen as caregivers, where they raise children, clean the house, and make meals for the family. If you have any questions, please post them on the YouTube comments section. Thank you.